Hi everyone, and welcome back to a new tutorial. In this tutorial I am going to be answering some of your questions. So I'm going to be showing you a few different little things here and there about painting. I'm going to be going back to basics and explaining to you, if you're just starting out, the basic materials you need for painting with oils, or even acrylics for that matter. Acrylics are water based, so you only need to thin those with water. Oils are oil based, so you need thinners. So I'm going to explain a lot of that to you in a minute. Going back to basics, what you're going to need. So before I do that, I want to show you how I varnish a painting. Now you can varnish your oil paintings, and you can use this, okay? Artist Oil Painting Varnish. Now this is gloss. You can get this in a matte finish as well. This has a kind of a slight gloss, so it's like kind of a sheen on the painting when it's dry, but this will bring out the colours lovely on your paintings. If you really want to protect your paintings and really make them very, very durable, you can use this. You can buy this in any craft store. Any good art shop will have this. You don't have to use this, of course. In fact, I hardly use this at all. It's very, very rare I would use this unless I'm maybe painting a very, very big subject and a very expensive artwork. I would definitely use this. But for my tutorials, that type of thing, there's really no need to varnish paintings, okay? They're very, very durable just on their own. So I'm going to turn the camera down here. I have a painting, in fact I'll show you. This is going to be the next tutorial. Now I know a lot of you are not very fond of still life, but I promised someone that I would get a still life on, and it's not something I paint all of the time, but I do enjoy painting still lifes as well. So I'm going to show you the painting. I think it turned out very nice. So what do we think of this? I don't know if you can see that very well now because there is a lot of light shining in the studio here. There's windows and lights everywhere to try and sort out this lighting. It's quite messy in here. But yeah, this is the next tutorial. Some fruit. And nice reflections there. So I'm now going to varnish this. I painted this about 3 weeks ago, and I recorded the tutorial on this, but I was letting it dry for a while before I varnish it. Now you wouldn't want to let this dry a bit longer, a couple of extra weeks even, but it's fine. This is absolutely fine. It's completely dry, so I'm going to varnish it. So I'm going to put it down here, and I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to move this camera now down, point it down here on the table I have. So bear with me, and I'll try and get a nice angle on this here now for you, so you can see exactly what I am doing. Okay, so there we go. How was that? And I have to try and get a decent mount for this camcorder because it's quite messy doing it like this. I've kind of tied onto an easel with some tape and all sorts of stuff, so it's very messy. So look, this will do. My varnish, my brush, and let me just, oh, 1 second, let's move this to one side so I can walk alongside it. There, that's a bit better, isn't it? So I'm going to open this now. It hasn't been open in a very long time, so I'm probably going to struggle with this. Let me see if I can. Right, there we go. Opened. Lovely varnish. Now you are going to want a little cup or a little, look, I use a ramekin, okay? I'm going to put a tiny drop of this into a ramekin. You don't need much because it goes very far. Now you can see the little tiny drop I have in there. Okay, it's tiny. So synthetic brush or a bristle, a normal painting brush, whichever you prefer, and just start painting this on. Now this will go very far, and I don't know now if you can see that, but you can see it. Yeah, you can actually see it going on, can't you? And it brings the colours right out, lovely and rich. So if you had a painting that you were really, really proud of and you really wanted to show it off, I would definitely varnish it like this. And when you put it over these reds now particularly, look at that. You can see all the colours coming right out, can't you? So spread it right around really well. Okay, that's the thing about this kind of varnish, it goes very, very far. So you only need a little bit on your brush, just a little bit, and spread it right around your canvas. Now this is a board I'm putting it on here, so it's lovely and smooth, but if you're doing this on canvas, just push it right around and push it right into all the grooves of the canvas. Now, there. How about that? And that is lovely. Brought out the colours lovely and rich, didn't it? And you can see the shine on that now. So it will lose its shine very, very slightly. I just missed a bit there. It will lose its shine very slightly as it dries. Only just a little, really. But on the whole, that's kind of... See? And it really protects the painting. So that is a painting varnished. Very quickly. And this will dry overnight. Stick it in a frame. And Bob's your uncle. And you can hang it up somewhere or sell it or do whatever you like. So that's lovely now. It really kind of brought out those colours, didn't it? Now the colours on these look very yellow on camera, but they're actually not. It's something to do with the lighting in here. I have very kind of yellow lights, so I need to sort that out. But look, you can get a general feel of what it's like to varnish a painting. So there we go. Now I'm going to move the camera again, just so you can see me here. And I am going to mount the camera over next to my table, go over some little exercises, small little videos and little clouds, stuff like that. Answer some of your questions. So let's have a bit of fun with this. So, here we are. I'm going to explain to you some of the basics. Okay? First of all, canvas. You can paint on canvas. You have a canvas board. Okay, like so. Very thin, like cardboard. But it has canvas glued to the board. And these are very, very durable. They're great for practice. You can do full paintings on them as well also. A lot of people prefer these to the stretched canvas. So the stretched canvas, for example, let me see if I have one here. There's one there, look. The stretched canvas is stretched around the wooden frame. Okay? So it's the same canvas but it's stretched around the frame. Now this is lovely as well, it has a lovely kind of a bounce to it when you're painting. Okay, it moves slightly, it moves in and out when you're painting. This is lovely as well for painting, but you need to be careful because I've had many fantastic paintings destroyed because I wasn't careful, and you might move something against the wall or whatever and it would puncture the canvas or rip it or put a dent in the canvas and they were ruined. So I tend to paint mostly on these boards, alright? It's personal preference really. I just find these much more durable for transporting as well also, so they can be kind of knocked about if you hit something hard, a hard edge or something. They're very, very durable for that. So it's just personal taste really. Try a couple of different ones and see what you like. But you can paint on canvas or you can paint on paper. Now it's just for practice more than anything else, but this is a canvas pad and it's just paper with a kind of a canvas grain put into the paper. Okay, it's like a mock canvas and it's really just for sketching. Okay, that type of thing. For example, I practice a lot of sketches on this, trees for example, that type of thing. So yeah, you like mixing, trying different colours. You know, it's very handy for just practice. So you can see here now, I'm just practicing some techniques with trees, which I'm going to do as well for you in a minute. So canvas paper is handy as well, especially if you're out and about, for portability, you know, and it dries very quickly on the paper as well, so you can almost kind of pretty much close the pad after a session. because the paper absorbs all the oil and the turpentine. It really dries in very quickly. So that's the canvas covered. Pallets. You can use, which I use a lot for these tutorials, a tearaway pallet, okay? So a paper pallet. So it's just a normal pallet, paper, and there's 30 or 40 sheets in a book, and it's lovely and white and smooth. So you basically just paint on this, okay, do your mixing, and when you're finished, you just simply tear it off and you have a fresh clean one underneath, okay? And again, if you're out and about, very, very handy. There's no cleaning, you just tear it off, scrunch it up carefully, put it in a bag or a bin or something. So you have that kind of a pallet, okay? Paper tearaway pallet, or you have the traditional wooden pallet. And I love using these wooden pallets, okay? It's just like a thin piece of hard plywood. And these have just been used since the dawn, really, of painting. You can buy these in wood, you can buy them in plastic as well, a kind of a white hard plastic. I just love the feel of the wood. I don't know what it is. I've always used these since I was a young little fella, just starting to paint, and I bought these and I just love the feel of them. You know, I mean, look at the mess on that now. This is all hard paint, and okay, it's a lot of cleaning afterwards. You have to scrape the paint off with a knife and that kind of thing, but I just love using these. But for tutorials, I'll use the paper tearaways, okay? So you can see me mixing properly. So those are two types of palettes that you can use. You can use the little palettes with little different sections in them, but they're more for watercolours really. So something flat, any flat surface for oil painting, definitely. Now, paints. There are lots of different types of paints you can buy. Different brands, rather. You have these, which I use, okay? I'm going to zoom in there now slightly for you. I use Georgian, and these are just kind of student quality paints, but I think they're the best. You can buy much more expensive paints in the same manufacturer, but you could be talking 3 or 4 times the price of these student quality tubes. These student tubes are around €4 or €5 per tube, which is great for me. I don't mind that. But the equivalent in professional quality could cost you €15, €20 for one tube. So that's not feasible for me. I don't have that kind of money to spend on paint. So these are kind of the best budget paints you can buy, really. And a lot of qualified artists and professional artists use these as well. There's not much difference, really, apart from some of the yellows and reds and blues. In the more expensive ones have a lot more pigment, so they're much more rich or vibrant. A lot of these tend to be filled with kind of fillers. Some of them don't have much pigment, others do. Depends on what colours you're using. But yes, these kind of student quality paints are probably the best. Now, you can use, which we all start using, and I'll just get one for you, won't be a sec. These types of paints in box sets, okay? Now I just use these for beginner students, just for them to get the hang of techniques before they move on to more expensive paints. These types of paints, okay? If I'm buying these types of paints for beginning, that's absolutely fine. Mess around with the brushes, mess around with the colours. They're very, very cheap, maybe €6 or €7 per pack or something like that. So these are fine for beginning, but bear in mind you won't get the same results with these as you will with the more expensive tubes, okay? You just won't. The colours can be very faded, they're not very vibrant. In fact, when I was beginning lessons, the students were using these and I was using these more expensive ones, and the difference in the paintings was astronomical. You could not believe the difference. And as soon as I moved them to these tubes, the more expensive ones, the difference was unbelievable. They could not believe the difference in their artworks. The colours were richer, more vibrant, mixing was much easier. So yeah, definitely if you can afford to buy a set of these, you could probably buy a set of these with all the basic colours for maybe €20. So I would definitely go for these, because you can use these but you will get you won't get the same results. You really won't. But they're absolutely fine if you want to just mess around and practice, and you know, try out the oils. They're absolutely fine. So they're the paints. Depending on where you live from, or where you come from, where you live, there are lots of different manufacturers, there are different names, different types. These are just Georgian, these are what they sell, where I come from. You have Winsor & Newton also, which are very, very good, pretty similar. So those are the types I use. But any decent quality oil paint will do just fine, okay? So that's the paints. Brushes. Brushes, brushes, brushes. What a dilemma. A big dilemma with brushes. Traditionally, oil painters use these bristle brushes, okay? Just regular bristle, and they come in lots of different shapes and sizes. You've hog hair, you've lots of different types of soft bristle, hard bristle. These would be traditionally used for painting, okay, with oils. In recent years, they've kind of switched over to more synthetic mixes, so softer brushes, which would be this type. Now I use these. Depends on the type of feeling that you want from the oil paints, really. These brushes will give you very sort of hard edges, very kind of rough edges, very sort of abstract feeling to your painting. So, you know, very kind of loose. If you're doing very loose work, these brushes are fantastic, they're fine. In fact, I began painting using all of these brushes, okay? Bristles, hard bristle brushes. But in recent, like, you know, as time went on, I found myself kind of moving towards the synthetics, only because they're much softer, to give a much softer feel to the painting, and that's what I love. So for blending and for creating nice soft, misty kind of scenes, they're fantastic for that. Now you can use them for acrylics, you can use them for watercolours, gouache, and they can be used for oils. So I use these for oils, and I use lots of different shapes and sizes. Primarily, my very famous now green stubby brush. It's just a junior brush, but they fit in the cup of the hand nicely like that, you see. And you can get lovely little flicks, and you can work very quickly with them. Whereas if you're using a big brush, the big brushes can be very sort of cumbersome, you know. That's another example of a very big brush that you might see being used. I mean, it's huge. That's if you're standing back from the painting, okay, like so. But they're very, very cumbersome. I just don't like using them very much. I like to have more freedom with my brush, so I use these small little synthetics. And in fact, just regular handle synthetics, they don't have to be short handle. They can be, you know, they can be normal short handle brushes as well. They just give you more freedom, more movement. So I use synthetic brushes and small pointy brushes, rigger brushes as you might call them, little detail brushes. Just regular synthetic pointy brushes will do fine. You can buy them in a set if you like. I tend to use flat brushes a lot, just because I've kind of gotten used to my own techniques with these brushes. Some people might use round brushes a lot. I use flat brushes a lot, okay? And you can see there. Now this flat brush has been really worn, and you can see a sort of a chiseled edge on it. That's because it's worn, and these give lovely trees and bushes, that type of thing, okay? So you can see that there. And these are kind of more newer brushes, so when you buy them new, they look nice and flat and pointy like that. But when they're worn, they tend to kind of splay out like that, and they give you lovely trees and bushes and that type of thing, you see, which I'm going to demonstrate for you here now in a couple of minutes. So those are the brushes. You can use bristle or synthetic. Just buy a nice set, a cheap set of brushes, just to get you going. Alright? So, tinners. Oil paints have to be tinned with tinners, not water. If you're using acrylics, you can use water. For oils, you have to use turpentine. Or you can get various mediums for tinning it, like liquid or linseed oil. Now, I use a little linseed oil every now and again, just a touch if I'm creating a misty sort of a scene. It just helps keep the paint a little creamy and soft, and you can mix that with a little turpentine if you like, pure turpentine for artists, or you can use this just on its own. It's completely up to yourself. I just use turpentine most of the time, to be honest. So turpentine for tinning oil paints, and you can buy, as I said, you can buy lots of various mediums which help speed up the drying process, create thicker impasto kind of textured techniques. I don't use any of that stuff. I just use turpentine and paint, just like the old-fashioned days, good old days. No mediums. It's up to yourself. You can go and try a couple if you like. You know, go and buy a couple of jars of different types of mediums, try them, see how you get on. But that's it. So I think that pretty much covers a lot of stuff. Palette knives, you can get palette knives as well, for creating different textures, different techniques. I have 2 different types. They're the different types I use. You'll see me using them in my tutorials anyway. Just experiment with a couple of different ones, see how you get on. So that's it. I have canvases ready here now. I'm using a couple of small canvases here for these little techniques. Okay, I just cut one into a couple of small sections. Tin board is primed twice with my own primer. Of course, you can buy your regular gesso primer, which is available in art stores, and that's what's used for priming canvas. But I make my own because I find the gesso is that little bit kind of chalky for some reason, and when you're using gesso as well, you can see the brush marks on the canvas. I kind of don't like that. I like my canvases to be nice and smooth. So this canvas now would equate really to more of a fine grain canvas when it's primed. Alright, so I like a nice smooth canvas. I make it with white undercoat, water based undercoat, just regular household undercoat paint. It's water based and it's quick drying. So I take 50% of that, and then maybe 50% PVA glue, or maybe a bit less. Normal regular PVA glue because it's a primer and a sealer. So it seals in the canvas and primes it as well. So I mix those together with a little water, give it 2 quick coats, and then a very, very quick fine sandpaper, okay? Just take the roughness off of it, and it's lovely and smooth. And that's how you see my paint then moving lovely and smoothly on the canvas when I'm painting. Alright? It goes very far. So there's no kind of scrubbing it along on the canvas trying to get it across. It flows lovely on the canvas. So that's what I use. You can just use the regular gesso if you like, that's fine. It's personal taste really how you feel the canvas. Of course, when you buy the canvases, they are already primed. You don't need to do anything whatsoever with them. Okay? Every canvas you buy is primed and ready to paint. But I just like to give it an extra coat of primer, because on some of the cheaper canvases, it's just very cheap primer sprayed on with a machine, and it's left, and it's just very rough. It's like sandpaper. So I prefer just to give mine 1 quick coat. Alright? That's all. So I think that pretty much covers everything. You can just walk into your art store and just ask them for a beginner's art box, and they will have a box there with brushes and paints, canvas and a palette, everything inside one box, and that would be great for getting you started. Alright, so that's it. If you have any other questions now, do just let me know. Just email me, stephenconway12@gmail.com. So I'm going to now move the camera, focus it in on my palette, on my canvas here. We will put out the paints and we will practice some little techniques. Alright? So here we go. Okay, let's put some paint on our palette. I have titanium white. Some lovely titanium white. I'm going to use a little cobalt blue. Just a little. I'm going to try a little cadmium red. Okay. And these are just basic primary colours. I'm going to try a touch of black. I'll put that over here so I don't get confused with the black and the blue, because they're both very, very dark colours. Let's see. I will try a little touch of Naples yellow. This will give us some lovely warm pinky tones. and I will try some cadmium yellow for greens. For now, I think that will do us. Should I maybe put some burnt umber on the palette? I'm not too sure. Let me see. Yeah, look, that'll do fine for now. I want to practice with you first some clouds. So basic clouds, okay? Nice simple clouds, fine. I will use a flat brush. Let me see. I'm not going to use my big brush now. I'm going to use something slightly smaller. The kind of middle of the road. Let's see, this is a number 6 flat. Okay, and it's quite worn, see it? But you can display it out. And it takes a while for them to splay out like this because when you get them new, they're very pointy, aren't they? So it takes time. Okay, I'm going to dip my brush into some turpentine, okay? Just turpentine, and it's soaking wet. Then I'm going to soak off the excess, like that. So it's damp, it's not soaking wet, it's just damp. I'm going to take some titanium white and a touch of cobalt blue, and this is just going to be the blue sky, okay? A touch of cobalt blue, and you can see now we want a nice creamy texture, like cream just out of a tub. That's what I always say, and that's what you want, okay? A nice creamy mix. And let's put this on our palette, or our canvas rather. So you can see now this is going along nicely, nice and smooth, and it's quite thin. So there was a question there as well from one of you people, one of you viewers, my subscribers, about getting the paint on top to stick without mixing up with the paint underneath. So wet on wet basically. Now I'm making this slightly thicker, you see, as I'm going. So more blue, more white. I'm going to darken it very slightly. So I have very little paint on this. It's a very thin coat of paint. Okay, that's how I can explain. Look, I'm dragging it across, pushing it right into the canvas. So it's a very thin coat. And then the next layer is thicker, so it doesn't mix in too much. And when I put on the next layer, I'm not using any turpentine at all. Because if I go now and I wet this, and I put wet paint on top of this, it's just going to mix all over the place and get very messy, isn't it? So the trick, I think, is to put on a thin coat first, like this, and then put on a thicker coat over the top. Now I'm adding little bits of turps to this as I go along, just with the corner of my brush, just to dampen it slightly if it's too thick. And they're only tiny amounts really. So it's just for the tutorial, I'm just going to do very quickly here. So more blue, more white. So we have a simple blue sky now, don't we? And that's a very thin mix, and you can even see the canvas grain through the paint, it's so thin. So that's my undercoat done, my blue sky. Okay, you agree? Then I'm going, now you could use the same brush for a cloud. We could, couldn't we? Yeah, do you know what now? We'll use the same brush. So look, I'm just giving it a clean on the tissue, getting the bulk of that paint off. Okay, done. And next I'm going to just go directly into my white with a dry brush. So this thicker paint now should stay on top of this blue much better, okay? And to create a nice cloud, it's basically just circles, little circles, up and down, okay? Watch how I do this. Right, let's do a big cloud here. Hey, look, little circles up and down. So that's that part of the cloud. And then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to go all the way back, and I'm going to soften that back into the blue. Now I'm just using the very top of the brush and I'm going around like this, okay? And I'm softening this back into the blue. So there. Now that's kind of very basic, simple cloud. And you can add to that, let's go up here and add a bit more to create another little cloud in front of that. So let's go here, like so. And I'm kind of flicking the brush around just here and there, making it very kind of random. Now, when you get further down on the horizon, so if this is the sky, I know going further down to the horizon, the clouds get much flatter, okay? So they get almost horizontal. A couple little bumps here and there. And you can use a thinner brush, a smaller brush if you like. So look, a little straight wiggle across here and there. And then that could be a very nice sky, couldn't it? Now, I'm going to take a very, very soft blender brush. This is a makeup brush. It's not my wife's one because she warned me. She said, I'm telling you now, bye, if you take one or more of my brushes, you'll be out that door. So, well, that's the way she talks, her Irish Cork accent. So, she warned me to stay away from her brushes, so this is one I bought, a cheap brush. Okay, soft makeup powder brush, is it? I don't know, you tell me. Powder brush. And let's just soften this very gently. I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm barely touching the canvas now with this. And I'm going to soften the end of the cloud. I'm leaving the front edge because that's nice and kind of sharp, isn't it? I'm going to leave that, but I'm going to soften the end of the cloud into that blue sky gently. So there we have very simple clouds. Now, you could leave that, if you're happy with that, you could leave that on as your sky. And what you could do then, you see, is you could take, let's take a small brush, okay? A smaller brush, and just add highlights. So if you're not confident now, if you're just beginning, that's completely fine as a sky, okay? You could just leave it like that. Beautiful bright blue sky with some bright white clouds up there. That's fine. But if you want to go the extra step, take a little brush with some white, okay? And just here and there on those curves, put a little more white just there, look. Okay? So you could imagine the sun is over here and it's shining across the sky and hitting the tops of those clouds. So let's put a little bit there, perhaps a bit up there, and a bit along the top edge. So it's just catching the top edge of the clouds. And then maybe a little bit across the front of this. So these are little highlights then, you see. Perhaps just like that, look, okay? And that's kind of, you see how that kind of just brightened up the sky there now completely, didn't it? So you could say to yourself, okay, that's my sky finished. Now, as you're progressing, as you're getting better and better with skies, you say to yourself, well, I'm getting kind of bored of all these white clouds. I want a bit of shadow, a bit of life. You can put a bit of shadow into the clouds, and I'll show you. Let's just take with the same brush, or a clean brush, whatever you like, a dry brush. Because this is wet, we don't need thinners on this. We just need paint, because it'll mix already on the canvas, because this paint is wet. So a dry brush. Let's take a little touch of cobalt blue, and let's take some white, titanium white, cobalt blue. Make a nice light blue, and then to that you could add a touch of cadmium red, a tiny little bit on the corner of your brush. So it's getting more and more kind of mauve-y, isn't it? And then you could use that, but I'm going to add a touch of black, just a touch. Look, a tiny touch, it's just on one of the hairs, you see that? A tiny bit of black. So you can see how strong that is now. And that'll do. That's a nice shadow colour now for the cloud. It's a kind of a bluey kind of a grey. And then, because the light is coming here from the left, the shadow is going to be on the right. So down underneath here, I've the brush at an angle and I'm just going around in little circles like this. Look, I'm flicking the hairs around. And it's softening up into that white. And I'm kind of darting around down here and there, you see? Just a little dab here, a little dab there. Then pick up more again, and let's go down to these. Put a bit of shadow down here. And let's perhaps put a piece across the bottom here. So now we have a little bit of shadow in our clouds, don't we? Now perhaps you want to put a bit here as well, in the cloud behind. So next let's try some trees, some basic trees, yes? I'm going to just clean this brush. And now, very important, okay? Very important note for you. When I'm cleaning my brush, what I do is I just dip it in the turpentine once, okay? In and out, and then I clean it on the tissue like this. I don't swish it around in the turpentine like this at all, because the turpentine will just be destroyed immediately. So by doing it this way, the turpentine stays clean much longer. So it's still clean. Now, this brush, here we go. So let's imagine now we're painting some trees in a landscape. And what I'm going to do now, maybe in another tutorial, put all these into practice and put them into one painting, yes? So, let's just take this brush, a flat brush again, slightly kind of splayed out, you see? Again, you can use a big kind of a stubby green brush like this, perfect for trees. By the way, I have these brushes. If you want to order some of them off from me, I can post them to you, okay? Now that's what they're like when they're new. Flat chiseled edge, basic simple flat brushes. But after a couple of uses then they turn into this, you see. And they're wonderful for trees. Trees and bushes, that type of thing. So I'm going to use this one for now. I'm going to mix a nice dark green now for a tree. So I'm just going to dampen my brush very quickly, dry it on the tissue. Again, it's just damp. And a dark green. Most people assume to mix a dark green, you would mix blue with yellow, wouldn't you? And you can, okay? That'll give you a very rich, vibrant green. But I prefer to use black and yellow. Now, you probably say to yourself, black and yellow? That's a strange kind of a combination. But black has blue pigment in it. So I'm just going to take some black, and I want to take plenty of yellow, and you'll see immediately we have a very dark rich green, don't we? Now it probably looks black there on the screen, but you'll see when I put it on the canvas. So I always paint my bushes from dark to light. So I put the dark colour on first, and then I put the light highlights on. So let's say we have a little row of bushes along here, okay? Now you can even sketch them with your pencil if you like. Look, let's say we have a little row of bushes across there. I'm going to just put this dark green on. Again, scrubbing along the canvas. And when you get to the top edge, you dab. Look, I'm just going to dab, dab, dab. Now this is pretty dry, so I'm going to just dampen it very slightly. Again, just with the corner of the brush. And I'm taking more yellow, more black. And look, we can even take a touch of blue as well if you like. And that'll give us a dark green, won't it? So for the top edge of the trees, look, I'm just going to dab, 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 dab with this brush. Dab, 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 all the way along, up and down. Trees grow very spontaneously and very randomly, don't they? So they can be up and down here and there. I'm just dabbing with the tip of the brush. Fill all this in, fill it right in. And then I want to make a very dark tone at the bottom, so I'm taking black and some blue, and I'm going to go along the bottom here and dab, 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 dab. Okay? So you can see now what I'm doing, can't you? Dab, 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 dab all the way along the bottom. And this is a lovely way of painting trees for a beginner. So if you're not confident with painting trees, all you're doing is dabbing. It's very, very simple. And I've done this technique since I started painting many years ago, and it never fails. So here we go now, look. I'm dabbing it gently up into the lighter colour, okay? Very, very softly. So it's blending in, but with a bit of texture at the same time, don't we? So, okay, you could use the same brush if you wished for the highlights, but it's a little bit on the big side for me. So I'm going to use a slightly smaller brush, and I will pick another flat brush, a size 4 flat. Again, look, very worn. Remember, don't throw your old brushes out. Keep them because they're perfect for this type of thing. Okay, they're just perfect. And let me see, there's another one here. I have another one here, a better one. Okay, lovely worn brush, look, a number 4. And again, this is already wet, so I don't need to wet this again. So a dry brush. For the highlights, I'm going to take some cadmium yellow, And I'm going to take a touch of Naples yellow. And Naples yellow is lovely and creamy. You can even see it, look. It's like a thick cream. And that's perfect. So I'll mix the two of those together on the tip of the brush, okay? I'm pushing the brush in to the paint, you see? So I have all the paint now on the very tip of the brush, you can see it there. And I'm going to assume, again, the sun is coming from the left-hand side. Now maybe it's because I'm left-handed, you know. Very few artists are left-handed. I think that's because we're special, aren't we? Isn't that right? The sun's coming from the left, so just on the left-hand sides, I'm going to put some highlights, okay? Now I'll start on this side. So I'm going to assume the light is catching the top of this bush here. So look, I'm dab, 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 and I'm going to dab it back into the darker colour, very gently. Okay? And there already we have the beginning of a bush. Now I've dark paint on the tip of this brush, you see, because I was dabbing, so I'll give it a very quick rub just to the tip, just to take that colour off. Then go back into your colour again. Let's take some more yellow, look. So let's continue on. I'm going to create another bush in front of this. So I'm going to take my yellow, and I'm just going to start here and go down like this, okay? So we can assume now that there is another bush in front. So now we have two bushes. So it's the same principle now for this all the way along. Okay? So let's do this one here. Again, soften it back in. And perhaps a touch up here, look. Again, clean your brush on the tissue. Go back into your bright colour. Just paint on its own. And let's do another one here. And we have one or two down at the bottom, look. So isn't this fun? It's just so simple to do this. We're just dabbing, that's all. Clean it again. Go back into some Naples yellow, some cadmium yellow. And I'm not mixing these on the palette, okay? I'm mixing them on the canvas. So I have now two yellows on this. And they're going to mix together themselves on the canvas, creating different tones and different shades of green and yellow. Okay? And this is just an easy way of painting trees and bushes, and they're quite realistic as well, actually. So just remember, a very worn brush is all you need. Now I'm going to clean this well with my tissue, like so. I'm not going to dip it in turpentine, and then I'm going to take some cadmium yellow and some white. Now we're going to go really bright with these highlights, okay? So we've done two stages. We've done the darks and the mediums. Now I'm going to go for the real bright highlights. And let's try this one here. Just here and there, look. Dab a couple of lights on that. And it's almost like looking at the little leaves, isn't it? So again, clean that and go back into your colour again. And let's go up here and try this one. I'm going to go brighter again, white and yellow. Let's go over here and get some real bright ones on these. And that's just a lovely basic simple bush, isn't it? And you could go on for hours and hours painting these little bushes in the landscape. All different colours. So there we are. A simple row of bushes. So that's absolutely fine. Okay, you could leave that for now if you wanted to, or you could keep going adding little bits to it. That's a nice row of bushes. Now if you want to put reflections in, let's do some reflections, shall we? So let's assume this is a river, alright? And it's very simple. It's just a couple of different stages. This is how I do my reflections, okay? I am going to take my big brush again, and I am going to put in dark green all the way along here, okay? A simple dark green, just like we did at the beginning. So let's just dampen the brush very gently, and let's take some black and some yellow again, cadmium yellow, and let's paint this right in the crosshair, look. This is just a nice simple way of painting some easy reflections in a landscape or in a river or whatever you're painting. Nice and easy. Well, here we are. Now let's add a touch of blue to that because it's water, so there's going to be a hint of blue here and there, isn't there? So drag that across, soften it all together with your brush. And I like to keep my colours kind of clean, so I don't mix too many different colours together on my brush. I like to keep things nice and clean. So we have a dark green there, don't we? Would you agree with that? Next, what I'm going to do is just give this a quick clean on my tissue. And what I'm going to do then is, I'm basically going to copy where those lights are down here. So for instance, this light here, you see this light? It's going at a slight angle, isn't it? Like that. So when it comes down to the water, it's going to be reflected this way, isn't it? So that's what I'm going to do with my lights. I'm just going to take a light green again. So cadmium yellow. Now I'm not going to go too bright. Cadmium yellow and a touch of Naples yellow. And with that colour, you can see that green I have there now. I'm going to follow the line of these lights. So let's start with this, shall we? Pull it straight down in little flicks. See that? Just a little flick down. And then we have another one here, don't we? Let's pull that one down, a little circle. And we have the same here. So this one has a little curve on it, doesn't it? So let's put a little curve like that. And let's go along now and do the same with all of these. I'm just picking out where the lights are and that direction of the lights. So we have that. Now I'm going to go lighter because we have some very bright ones, don't we? So I'm going to take some cadmium yellow, titanium white, and get some bright ones in. Look, we have a nice bright one there, don't we? So let's put that up there. And let's go again. It does take a bit of practice, but just practice. Okay, don't be rushing to try and get all these techniques perfect the first time. It took me years and years and years to get these techniques to where I have them now, and even now they're still not perfect. They could be, you know, refined a little bit. So we have that now, you see? We have some nice lights, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my soft brush again, and I'm basically going to pull those down. Now you have to do this when it's wet, when everything is wet, so they soften together. So I'm going to pull everything down very gently in a straight line all the way across, you see? Pull it all down. And then I'm going to go left and right across very gently to soften them even more. Okay. So now you can see we have some nice little reflections there. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my palette knife. Now, where did I put my palette knife that I had earlier? Ah, there it is. This is a basic palette knife. You can use a little pointy one like this if you're just beginning. But basically what you want to do is you want to get this edge in line with this. So you're basically holding the palette knife like this. Okay? Horizontal. So I'm going to use this one because I like using this one. So again, this line is horizontal with this. So everything now is going to be horizontal. Let's take a bit of this whitey greeny colour here. Okay, and I'm going to take a little roll of that on the edge of my knife. See that? Just a little bit. And just when they meet, I'm going to put a little tiny white line just here and there. And then through the reflections as well. Remember, keep it horizontal. And these could be some of the ripples. Now let's try a bit of blue. There we go. With that done, take your soft brush again and pull across horizontal, okay? Very gently. I'm just skimming the surface now with this. And there we are. Simple reflections. Okay? And that's it. That's all you need to do. And that's a lovely tree with reflections. So again, take your time. Okay? Just take your time. Don't be trying to rush. Take it nice and handy. Okay, I'm going to put this to one side. Let me zoom in first so you can see. Okay? There. Nice, simple reflections. And some bushes. Isn't that lovely? So that's another thing you could incorporate into your landscapes. Okay, I have another one. And I think I'll put it this way. I'm going to paint you a lovely little tree. A simple tree. Yes? I'm going to take a round kind of a brush. Let's say this little round brush here, a size 1. Okay, wet that, and I'm going to take out some burnt umber. Let me get some burnt umber on my palette for you. Little burnt umber there. And I'm going to wet my brush and make a nice watery mix of burnt umber. Nothing else, just burnt umber. And every starter pack of paints will have burnt umber in it, okay? So, with that wet paint, I want to start at the bottom. So let's say we have a horizon line here. This is going to be the base of the tree. So this is the tree trunk here now. Start at the bottom, lean down hard, come up and give it a little wiggle look. Follow that? Now the end of the tree trunk splays out like this, doesn't it? Because of the roots and all sorts of things. So come up and then come off of that with a branch. Like so. And by the way, in the next tutorial I'm painting my fruit, and after that I will have a lovely Blarney Castle uploaded. Okay? I just want to get through some requests first. Okay, another branch off of this one. And give it a little wiggle look. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And if you have shaky hands, it's perfect for this. Now let's make this a bit thicker here, because the tree trunk needs to look like it can hold all of those branches. And if the tree trunk is too thin, it will look like it's just going to fall over, won't it? So let's take some more of that burnt umber here. I've taken a touch of black, just a touch. And look, a couple of little wiggles here and there for some branches. Now I'm moving to a smaller brush. I have a smaller pointier brush here. This is a size, I think it's a size 0 or a 1. Very, very pointy brush. Any pointy brush you have will do fine. And put a little couple of flicks out here and there. Okay? Now I'm putting foliage on this so you don't have to worry too much about all those branches. Okay? A lot of this will be covered in a few moments. So there we have a nice simple tree. Would you agree? And then you want some light, don't you? Let's assume the light is coming from the right hand side this time. So let's take some cadmium red, some Naples yellow, and we have a nice pinky colour, don't we? So let's assume we have some nice light coming from the right hand side. I'm going to mix this down in, push it down onto that dark brown colour. Okay? Go ahead, just push it right down. Push it in, and then little flicks, look. soften it back into the brown. Okay, does that make sense? And let's do a bit up here on this branch, like so. So that's fine now as a tree as it is. It's absolutely fine. You could, you could go lighter if you wanted to. Put in some extra highlights along the edge, like that. And it's fine as it is. You will get away with that in the landscape. But if you want to put some dark on it, you can take a little black. And let's put a little bit of black just on the left hand side, just at the base, okay? Like so. Now, let's get some simple foliage on this tree. And for that, I'm going to use my little green stubby brush. And this is a really worn one that I have here. Look at that. It's just battered, isn't it? I have this now about 2 years. Look at that. Would you believe that? About 2 years. And it's still going strong, look. It's perfect for trees. So, it goes from that to that. Okay? So let's make some trees with this. Again, a dark green. So I'm putting some more yellow on my palette. And I'm going to use, I'm going to dampen this very slightly. Just dip it in and dry it again on our tissue. And let's take some cadmium yellow. Let's take some black. And try a touch of blue as well. And with that, I'm just going to dab in a kind of circular motion, okay? Watch this. Dab, 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 dab. So I'm forming the shape of the tree with this. Now let's come down here. And you have to be very careful with this not to go overboard. It's very easy to go way overboard when doing this. I think sometimes less is more. Would you agree? Okay? There. Perhaps a bit darker just in the centre, where it's very dense. Okay? So there we are. Simple dark green on our tree. Now, let me just add a touch more there. Look, you see, I'm fiddling. That's what happens, you start to fiddle. So I'm going to leave that now, and I'm going to switch to my other brush, which I use for the highlights, okay? Let's take some cadmium yellow, a little white, and let's put some lights on the right hand side, because, of course, the light is coming from this side, isn't it? So with this brush, just start dabbing here and there. There we go. Now it's tricky to do this when it's all wet underneath, okay? So I put on plenty thick paint. And I don't go over the same area more than once or twice. So there we have some little highlights on the right hand side of the tree. So how was that? A nice simple tree for you. And look, you could even use this if you want to put a little row of bushes just along the side of that tree. So let's take some yellow. In fact, this time let's try blue. So yellow and blue. You see, that gives us a very rich, vibrant green, doesn't it? Let's put a little row of bushes just by dabbing, dab, 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 dab. Let's go right through that tree. There we go. And then let's put a dark green. Blue and or some black and some yellow. Let's put a dark green just here and there, look. Dab it through. Up and down, here and there. Very, very loose, very messy. So that's it. Now I'm going to clean my brush again, dip it in the turpentine, clean it on the tissue. And let's put some lights on those. Let's take some cadmium yellow, Naples yellow and some white. So again, on the right hand side, this time, let's just dab some lights on the tops of those coming down on a kind of an angle, okay? There. You see now how easy that was? Just by dabbing. Dab, 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 dab. Just nice and simple. So that's another simple tree finished. And there we go, look. Okay? Nice and easy. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. Now, I'll have time for one more. Let's try a rock, will we? Okay, painting rocks can be tricky. But again, keep it simple. Now let's just draw a simple rock here. Okay, very, very kind of a jagged, rough edge, coming along, like so. I'm going to take this brush I had earlier for my clothes, give it a quick clean on my tissue, and it's just damp again. So let's make a grey. Let's take some of the black we have here, some of the white, and it's a simple medium grey, isn't it? Let's paint the rock with this grey, and again it's creamy. Let's fill in this rock. I'm going right over my pencil lines. I'm not bothered about pencil lines. We can fix it, can't we? Let's make it a bit thicker. Okay, now, next, I'm going to draw, in fact, no, I won't draw it actually. I'll take another brush. I'll take another flat brush, okay? This is a medium flat brush, number 4. And I'm going to take some black. I'm going to make a dark grey now for one side of this. So let's see why I'm doing this now. We have a shadow coming. Let's say the sun is here, shining down on the rock, okay? So with a dry brush, let's take some black. And let's take a touch of blue, which I don't have. Let me put some more blue on my palette here. Little black and a little blue. And on the dark side, I'm going to paint that dark colour down here. And look, make it nice and jagged. And it's softening into the lighter colour then, see? So we have a slight darker on one side. Now let's go darker again. Let's take black with a touch of brown. And just here, look, I'm flicking it at an angle. So because the rock is going down this way, I'm putting my brush strokes this way, okay? You see? Look, little small flicks. And behind this little bump on the rock, we're going to have a little bit of shadow too, aren't we? So let's put a little bit of shadow down there. Again, pulling it down in this direction. And let's assume there's one here. Little shadow. And you can even soften it with your finger, look. So you can begin to see the rock starting to form, okay? Now I'm going to give this a quick clean. Into the turps, clean it on my tissue. And then I'm going to put a light on this. Let's take some Naples yellow with a touch of cadmium red. That gives us a bright, kind of a sunlit colour, doesn't it? And this is going to be our light. So the sun is coming down, hitting this rock, and on this little bump, let's just put a little there, look. And then pulling it down gently into that dark colour. Again, soften it down with your finger, if you like. And let's do the same on this one. And the same on this one. So now, we have a rock with some sunlight on it, don't we? Now you would get away with that rock absolutely fine, okay? That's a beautiful rock, say in the middle of a field or along the side of a river or something, okay? That would do absolutely fine. But if you want to take it up a notch, okay? What if you wanted to go a bit further with this? You could. I'm going to get a small pointy brush here. Now, where is it? I had, oh yeah, there it is. I'm going to take a very small pointy brush, a size 0, and I'm going to go into this white and mix it into that bright colour that I had already mixed. Maple jello with some white. And I'm going to add in a couple of little wiggly lines here and there, just to give the impression of jagged edges in around that rock, okay? See? Just here. And you have to know where to put these. It takes practice. I've had many years of practice, but this is something that you can do. You know, you can keep going if you want. You don't have to do this. It's entirely up to yourself. But this is a nice little impression of a rock. There we are. One rock. Now if you want to go darker with the darks, you can. Look, a little shadow just in around here and there. And of course, because they're oils, the beauty is you can soften all of these together, can't you? You see? If this was acrylics, it would be very difficult because it would dry very quickly. And that is a nice, simple rock. Okay? And you can apply this principle to all of your rocks. There we go. Nice and easy. So that gives you something to think about now, doesn't it? So you can go now and apply some of these to your painting. So you could incorporate all of these now into one painting, couldn't you? Absolutely. So let me just display some of these here now for you to see. And I'm going to zoom back slightly. So I'm going to now zoom back and you can see all of these together. Okay? So that's a little series of studies. I hope you like that. Reflections are quite nice, aren't they? So we have the reflections, a rock, a little tree up there, and some nice clouds. So a few basic hints and tips for you there. Let me turn the camera around here now so you can see me again properly, I hope. Yes, there we go. I really have to sort out some kind of a jig in here to make it easier. Okay, I hope you got some nice information from that. You know, just some basics. Going really back to basics now with oil painting. They're nice easy techniques, I think, that you could apply to your painting and get fantastic results. So look, thank you very much for your support. If you would like some of these brushes, I can post them to you. Just let me know on my email, stephenconway12@gmail.com, and I'll get some brushes to you. Alright, if you want to use these brushes. You don't have to. As I said, you can try some different brushes, experiment with different materials. But yes, thank you so much for all your support. I'll be back very, very shortly with that fruit tutorial. I think you might like it. I was kind of pleasantly surprised when I painted it, how it turned out. So I think you might like watching me do it. Alright, so don't go anywhere. And I will see you very soon. Now go and get your paints, get your brushes and get that canvas and start painting and have some fun, and most importantly enjoy your painting, okay? Enjoy it. So go and have some fun. God bless, and I'll see you again very soon.